I've made a ton of Genshin Impact thumbnails and thumbnails for other things as well. And I feel like I have a decent knowledge, you know, making some cool thumbnails here and there. You know, editor, show some of my very epic thumbnails I've made before. Okay, I'll show you how. I'll take you step by step on how, you know, I have my thought process in making a very attractive and very smexy thumbnail. Let's get started. Yo, today's sponsor is Kung Fu Tea. Did you know National Bubble Tea Day is April 30th? And did you also know their birthday is on the 30th as well? And National Bubble Tea Day actually became an official event from 2018, and each year brings a new theme and a week of rewards for the customers. This year's theme is Boba Space. These days, everyone's always talking about, you know, how everything's immersive for digital platforms, and so much of our world is virtual that Kung Fu Tea is deciding to integrate boba into a beautiful online experience. The Kung Fu Tea community is very, you know, tech savvy, and with Boba Space, the theme, it's spreading awareness about their global bubble tea phenomenon while pushing virtual innovation. By purchasing your favorite drinks on the Kung Fu Tea app, you guys can get exclusive stickers. You can get the special app reward points they have called Bubbles, free topping, and exclusive deals on the Kung Fu Tea green tea cans, as well as reusable straws. You guys can also use the Boba Space Snapchat filters. Last but not least, keep an eye out for Kung Fu Tea's new and improved app update coming out very, very soon. Visit the Kung Fu Tea website to view the full schedule for the promotions and enter the Boba Space. If you use the link in my description, you'll get a free topping on your next drink. Try it out. So I use Photoshop. And if you don't know what Photoshop is, it's Photoshop. And don't worry, I'll tell you all the buttons and things you have to press, like what I do to make a thumbnail. But if you don't have Photoshop, there are alternatives that have similar tools. But if you really want Photoshop, you can get it probably somewhere. That is something I cannot tell you how to do, but you can get it somewhere, somehow. Today, let's make a thumbnail about Jean from Genshin Impact. Surprise, I like Jean.
It's time to move on.
This is going to be for my final Jean build video, actually. Let's find out how to make this thumbnail. So I click new file, and I usually go 1920 by 1080, you know, 1080p, we like that. And here we are. This is my setup, my beautiful, wonderful setup. Background, default, unlock that because I don't really need it, but I'll just leave it there for now. The first thing I want to do when I make a thumbnail is have a subject in focus. What's our subject in this video, or in the video I'm making the thumbnail for? Jean. So I need an image of Jean. Now I could, you know, browse the internet, find like basic image of Jean from Genshin Impact, but I don't want to do that. I've already used so many of these images that I want to do something a little different. I'm going to get a screenshot from in-game Jean. I'm gonna open Genshin though. I'm kind of thinking of like a dramatic thumbnail where Jean is in like a very cool pose for the subject of the thumbnail. So let's try to do that. Oh, okay. Anyways, I'm kind of thinking of like doing something like this, but like from a side view. But I can't really do that alone, so I think I need someone else. So I'm gonna call a friend. All right, I have a friend who's gonna pose as Jean for me so I can screenshot Jean. And I'm thinking summer outfit because, you know, I don't know, it looks better with the jade cutter, in my opinion. Where's this guy? Oh, there he is. Thank you. And we're gonna background blur, blur distance. Ooh, that's pretty good to be honest. Zoom. I'm gonna have him charge E for as long as he can, because I want like the cool charge animation. What the fu- Why did he move? Yes, yes. Ooh. Ooh, okay, yeah, we like that. That's good, that's good, that's good. So we have I took a bunch to work with because, you know, the more options you have, the better for like just choosing things that look the best. So thank you, Butt or Albert. Let's move on to the fun part. I love making thumbnails. It's so fun. I used to want to major in graphic design before I became a streamer or a YouTuber, basically. But then I went into computer science and then hated my life. Anyways, let's go back to Photoshop. Let's go find the images that we took. Let's just take all of these and add them in here. we'll choose which one looks the best. So, first glance, this looks amazing, to be honest. This one, you can't really see anything, so you can't really see her face. Her feet's not visible in this one. This one is a different kind of color to it. It looks pretty good, too. This one, not enough cool effects. And then this one is the best one I could get. You can see her, but you can't really see her face. So I'm thinking we stick with this, to be honest. I'm thinking this one because the color is a bit more red, like a sunset, which is nice. What I'm going to do is zoom in just a little bit. Just a little bit, so I can get more of Jean in the frame. Perfecto, perfecto. Maybe I want to angle it a little more too, because that gives thumbnails a more dramatic pose instead of just like, you know, having it leveled. I do that a lot with my thumbnails. You'll notice some things are like slanted a bit just to add more of a dramatic look. To drag, you can just drag it around. I'm pressing Control T, which lets me adjust the entire image that I have, by the way. And I can turn it and do whatever I want. Zoom by dragging an edge, and I think this is good. And I'll press enter when I'm done. And Jean looks a little blurry, just a little bit, because this is captured in game. It's kind of a screenshot. It's not really a render. What I'm gonna do is trace her, and I'm gonna press P, or I can go to this tool right here, the pen tool. And what this does, it basically allows me to trace or make an outline of something I want. So if I click and then click again, and then again, and then again, I'm drawing a path. And once I draw the entire path around Jean's body, I can make another copy of the place I selected. What I like to do is zoom in by holding Alt and then using my mouse scroll wheel in and out. This is an easy zoom hotkey. And then I will trace Jean. And if I hold down on the pen as well as I'm tracing, I can also curve it and stuff like that. And I'm holding spacebar and then pressing click again as an easy way to drag. I think it's kind of therapeutic. Some people hate this because it's tedious, but I actually enjoy it. I listen to music in the background when I work and do this stuff. By the way, I don't claim to be a pro at this at all. I just enjoy doing it. So if I explain anything terribly, you know, Google's always a better answer than me. So once I connected this last line here, like this, it should be just blue like this, and well. So what I'll do is right click it, make selection, which will be like, okay, you want to select only this part and make it a new layer? Yes, I want that. But feather. So feathering is basically, the best way I can explain it is it kind of like smooths out the edges, and the higher the number, the more like smoother out it gets. So I'm gonna put 3, and then here it is, it's selected because it's got the little dotted line, and then I will copy, Control C, and then Control V, and now I have Jean with nothing else in the background. You can kind of see it's kind of like faded on the edges. That's what the feathering does. So now we have Jean. But what I want with Jean is for her to be a bit more clear, because I think she's a little blurry. So what I'm gonna do is select this layer, filter, sharpen, smart sharpen. And what it does, it'll sharpen it in a cleaner fashion. So as you can see, if I zoom in on this, sharpen, and if I click it, unsharpened. So this is before, after, before, after. And this already looks amazing. I could totally just leave it like this, but I won't. I want to add special effects. I'm trying to achieve this anime zoom effect. I want this or the Jean video. Actually, maybe we want something like this, or like a sideways zoom, you know, like a sideways, like whoosh, you know. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. So I'll make a new layer and then call it anime zoom effect. And what I'll do is go here, rectangle, and then I'll draw a rectangle like this, and I can change the color and make it white over here. And I can also drag the edge dots here to make it a bigger, smaller, or thinner. And I want to make it thin. So I'll put it up here, because the idea is I want like a bunch of these on the top and bottom to make it look like a fast-paced, like special anime effect. It looks kind of boring right now. It just looks like a really skinny rectangle. So what I'll do is click on it again, and then I'm gonna go filter, blur, and then motion blur, and then convert to smart object. And what that does, basically, you can already kind of see what's going on. It's kind of like blurred the heck out of it. But depending on how I change this meter, it will be blurred in the direction of this angle. I'll say 325. Boom. That's only one part. Basically, what I can do now is just copy and paste this by saying duplicate layer, and then I'll have another. And then I can basically drag it wherever I want. Or alternatively, I can hold Alt and then click on the actual layer here and then drag to another area, and it basically duplicates it for me easily. So that's what I'll do. I feel like this is good. But it still looks kind of clunky. The ends of it look kind of bad. So what I'm gonna do now, hold shift and select all the layers that are part of the anime zoom effect here at the bottom right. And once I've selected them all, I want to make them all into one layer together. So I right click and then I click merge layers. And now all of it is one layer. So if I click hide on this, all of it's gone. And to get rid of the little harsh edge we have here, I'm just gonna give it a little more motion blur because I'm lazy. And then another 325 motion blur, maybe even more. 565, yes. And then boom, not bad, looks kind of cool. Looks a bit slanted though. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did with this image. Click this layer, Control T, and then I can zoom in and out of the layer or just drag it and slant it to however I want it to look. And boom, enter, I'm done. Nice. Subtle anime fast motion effect. Nice. Now what I'm gonna do, I want to make sure the viewers know that the video is about Jean's build and what she can do. All I'm gonna do is add a little, little images here and there that, show what Jean's capable of and what we talk about in the video. So I'm gonna go into my VOD and I will go here, try to find a point where I did a big damage because people like big numbers. Ooh, I screenshot this and then I'll paste it as a new layer. So this is my screenshot. And what I'm gonna do is erase around the edges I don't want. I only want Jean hitting the hilichurls and that big juicy number to be in the thumbnail we have because we need clickbait, is what I'm saying. What I'm gonna do with this is go to this rectangular marquee tool. So what I'm gonna do is take a nice chunk of this. I copy, Control C, Control V, paste. New layer right here. Delete the other one because we don't need it. And then I want this to be in here somehow. So I'm going to Control T and adjust, the size. And I'll put this right here. And I will press E, which gives me my eraser. Or you can just, right here, the eraser tool. I'll right click with it and I can adjust the size of the eraser. See, small circle, big circle, large circle. But we don't need it that big, so I'm gonna make it like around this size. And then hardness, I want it to be nice and soft. I'm gonna erase around the edges, give it a nice little blurred kind of look here. But I want to be sure to keep the number because that number is important. People need to see nice big number. I can definitely see it more clear now. Yeah, I'm gonna drag it down here. Perfect. I think it's a good spot. I'm gonna make sure this layer is behind the anime zoom effect though, because as you can see, this part looks a little bit, it's overlapping with the anime zoom effect here. So if I move this layer under the anime layer, you can see this part here starts to overlap it. What's another cool way to, attract a viewer to a Jean build, the subject of the vid? Probably that I have a C6 Jean. So what I'll do next, get a screenshot of C6 Jean. I had it somewhere. Yes. And I can do the same thing with the rectangle selector tool here. Copy this part only. Copy, paste, put it up here. And again, we can do the same thing. Erase around the edges so it kind of blends in. And then move it behind the big damage layer. Tilt a little more so it kind of goes along with the line of that animo special effect. Looks a lot better than before. I like it. Next, I will include the fact that she's triple crowned because the video is about how I spent a year building Jean and what I've, come up with. So what we're gonna do is get a nice triple crown image. What I had was the level 10 talents, which I can find probably in the VOD right here. Yeah, we'll select this part again. The 3 talents here. Copy, paste, new image, voila. I kind of want to put it here, but she's kind of too close to it. So I'm gonna I've got to select these two, the image and the cutout Jean here. So I'll shift click these 2 layers, drag this a little over here. So now I have this. This looks kind of ugly. So what I'll do is shave off the edge a little bit with the eraser, make it nice and smooth looking, kind of, I will add the crown to let them know, yeah, I crowned Jean. So there we go. Looks cool, but not that cool. I'm gonna add drop shadow to the talents. And I'll right click the layer, blend options, and then go drop shadow, which adds the shadow in the background. And I'm gonna change how much you can see it with the opacity, as well as the size of the drop shadow. But we're gonna make it a little small, a little bit transparent. Looks better, looks smoother. We'll do the same with the crowns too, so the crowns don't look like they're just sitting there. And then I want to make it more dramatic as well. So I'll make it a bit bigger. Yeah, we love a little slant, dramatic. Unfortunately though, it's kind of covering Jean's hand. So what I can do is move these layers behind that Jean cutout I made, you know, earlier in the video. So what I can do is drag these layers behind Jean. And now you can see her hand is hovering over it. If you're a pro Photoshopper, you're probably like, wow, this guy's not grouping his layers. I know, I'm just showing you my process of making a thumbnail and doing whatever. Jean here looks kind of out of place with the thing in the background. So what I'll do is add a drop shadow for her as well, so that she kind of looks a bit better. And as you can see, there you go. Drop shadow, before, after, before, after. Looks much better though, much better. What I like to do at the end is click the topmost layer, and then the Control Shift Alt E, which basically takes all of the layers you see that are visible on the screen and makes it into one layer. We'll name this big boy layer. If I hide everything else here, we have this, the big boy layer. See, it's all mushed into one layer now. And basically, the nice thing about this is I can just like adjust it, maybe zoom in a bit more, or give it even a little bit more of a slant. And last but not least, I'll add one more layer. This is something I like to do personally for my videos to make it pop a little more. I like to make it, or make a vignette. I will go to rectangle. We'll make another rectangle, and I'll just make a rectangle around the entire area. And I want to make it black though. I'll drag the edges to make it line up with the actual size of, you know, the thumbnail. And then what I'll do, I click this first, and then click this. And you're probably wondering, where's the black box I made? Well, if I adjust feather, it'll come back, but it's only around the edges. So I can change how much the black box I made shows around the edges. I'll make it like 15. That's good. With vignette, without. With, without. With, without. I think it looks better. This is it. This is the Jean build thumbnail that I've created. I think it looks great. It's got Jean, the subject. It's got very pretty background that we took in the Genshin. And then we've got, you know, something cool, the subject of focus, which is, you know, cool parts I've built around Jean. Display of damage to, you know, be like, haha, big damage. You want to watch this to find out how to do it too. Yep. And I guess I can show you how to export it by going File and then Export and then Export As. And, hope you enjoyed how I make thumbnails, and maybe you learned a thing or two about, you know, the thought process of making a thumbnail and making it pop. This is the thumbnail I'll use for my next Jean build video, so I hope you enjoy it. I know it's kind of a different kind of vibe to the vid, but I want to try making new vids and, you know, exploring things I like to do. And as you may know, I did upload a couple music covers of songs I did recently, and I know it's not your average Genshin video I make, but I'm really willing to explore new ideas and new ways to create and make content. We're almost at 1 million, by the way, so if you haven't already, please subscribe if you do enjoy the content that I make, and I hope to catch you again later. Peace.